Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday night live stream. It's time for our Sunday coffee talk. I see Carrie is here. Hey, Janice, it's been a while. Let's see, Tilla, our moderator, is on, and Carrie back first. So, wow. Well, my kitchen here is a disaster. It's meal prep day, and tonight we're going to do some sloppy joes. Hey, Tutu Q Cat. Uh, so Yeah. And also, I've got our tea that we're going to make today. I'm sorry, Carrie, it does have caffeine. You might look around for some flowering teas that maybe don't have caffeine. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. But we haven't done a blooming tea for a really long time. Hey, Lynette, nice to see you. And Sharon, watching on the big screen. So, nice. So I've got these blooming teas. Let's see, and they have multiple flavors. They've got Heart Bouquet, Jasmine Lover, Golden Oasis, Floral Passion, Sunset Love, and let me bring this up to the camera so you can see. And whatever popped out first is the one that I got. I'm not digging through them. So you can see here, mine don't always fill up the teapot, but you can see there's lots of different varieties here. Flowering teas are blooming teas. They're green most of the time. Are green tea leaves combined with flowers to make a tea ball. And you'll see that in a second. Except for I can't get into the thing. Give me a second here to find some kitchen scissors. All right, there we go. So, and I'll bring this around too because now I can bring it up close to you. When I was trapped the first time we used it, because it was when we were using a basement made studio and bringing everything down, that was limited. So the tea ball, you see, so that's the flower and the tea leaves are everything all wrapped together. You can see a little bit of the pink blossom right here. And we will talk more about how and why, etc., as we get moving. Hey, Gigi, nice to see you tonight, and Mike Sandy. Wowie, it says good evening, everyone. So here we go. I'm going to drop that in, and then you need boiling water, which I have in my kettle. And let me move some stuff to get to my kettle so I don't spill boiling water everywhere. And then we'll just bring it back and we'll talk about it. It takes a while to brew. The tea itself stays fairly light looking, but don't be fooled. It does get nice and flavorful, but it just takes time for it to unfurl and to grow in the pot. Some of the leaves break off, so you have to be aware that may happen. But it just goes loose in there. And there we go. There's all the water I can put. And we cover it up, and we can just let that steep while we move on with our evening. Let's see what we've got here. Hey, Hungry Heath is here, about to pull ribs off the Traeger. Awesome. I have to sneak behind the camera for a second because this is too solid. It's my beef tallow. I didn't think all the way ahead, and it's more solid, but my microwave is on a shelf back here behind, so sorry to disappear, but let me give that 20 seconds in the microwave. Gosh, how rude, walking away and outside of the camera, and I'm going to do it like a bunch today, because I'll have to go back around again to grab it. But I've got ground beef here in the skillet. I've got my caramelized onions, green pepper, and garlic. I put these in the recipe for the sloppy joes. Well, not the recipe, but all of the ingredients in the description. So we'll do that. Let's see. Carrie says, Carrie was asking about the blooming tea because, so we can't And he can't get tea right now. So when he's in a better situation, he'll be able to look for that. Let's see. Sharon says she's pointing out fun kitchen toys to Steph. So that's awesome. And let's see. Let me give this meat a little bit of a stir with, of course, the wrong spatula, but it's all right. It's all going together. So I did pre-cook my ground beef. You should know you can use whatever ground beef you want, or even cubed meat. Cubed meat will be a little weird, but I do see people using brisket and stuff a lot for sloppy joes. I like ground meat because that's what I grew up with. But I will say, we got some bougie ground beef because I was at the grocery store and they had 1 pound packages of ground prime chuck. So I was like, well, wait a minute. So, and they were marked down and then they were given a discount on top of that. And I'm sorry, prime ground chuck, I'm just at prime meat, I'm much happier with. And grass-fed, grass-finished on top of that, and it was under $2 a pound. So I bought that, and I've got the 4 pounds of it here because I'm doing a bulk cooking. You can scale this however you need to, etc., etc. Now, let's start with our chaffle batter. We want the chaffle batter to be able to sit for a bit while we assemble, and you can make your chaffles however you like. I'm making a mess is what we're going to go with. I am starting with my eggs. I've got 4 eggs. I'm going to make a lot of chaffles. We'll only make a couple of them while we're in the live stream, but I figure we're going to do that so that they can just be heated up on the toaster oven, etc. Yeah, Mike Sandy said it's a really good deal on the hamburger. Yeah, and I was that person too. When I saw it in the little clearance area, I was like, well, I'm just taking all 8 of these and put 4 of them in the freezer. So I wasn't in a sharing mood. Okay, my 4 eggs. To those 4 eggs, I'm adding some baking powder and 1 scoop or 10 grams of unflavored beef gelatin. That really helps with the texture of chaffles or keto waffles, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to plug this in so my waffle iron gets really hot. Now, I also have some dried chives. I'm using dried chives on purpose. Normally, I usually tell you fresh herbs and vegetables and stuff are better. But in this case, when we're using cheese and other flours and stuff, and there's a lot of liquid from eggs, in that case, the dried seems to meld a little bit better with them. Let's see. Oh, and Brenda says she's so glad to see chaffles again. They are clutch. They are. And I don't know why, but we don't have them a ton. So I'm going to get one more ingredient where I had to slip behind. Someday I'll show you guys my shelving unit back here, but it's not that exciting. And all I did was soften it, so we don't have to worry. It doesn't have to be melted because it'll mix together. No worries there. Do make sure that you bring your eggs to room temperature. So here's now I have this is a coconut flour. I have 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. Remember, this is going to be like 12 or 13 chaffles, so scale your ingredients. You don't have to use the ingredients I use. There's like 8 million chaffle recipes. Then I have, this is the unflavored whey protein isolate. All the flours look the same, so I had to like smell them to see what they are. I forget which container they put in. And the ingredient that so many of you hate, I've got 2 tablespoons of almond flour. I know, but I'm so sensitive to so many things that if I can have it, I'm not going to stress about it. So you can use whatever you like. If you like pork rinds, if you want to use more coconut flour, whatever. Now, I like to add the whey isolate into my waffle batters, and the reason that is because it gives it a sturdiness. And because I'm going to be putting a saucy layer on top of them, I want that extra sturdiness of the chaffle. If you were eating them just plain, I would say you might not want to use as much of the whey protein isolate because it can come out dry. Doesn't have to be dry, but they can come out that way, so you want to be mindful. And then now I'm going to just add in my softened beef tallow. I will tell you, like a lot of times they ask for melted butter or melted or almond oil. No, not almond oil. Don't eat almond oil. Avocado oil. I'm having an evening, you guys. But I have found that when I use it just softened versus totally melted, that overall texturally it comes out a little bit nicer. Stir my beef. Give it a little more heat. Now, just so you know, I did a little bit of pre-work because it's so much going on. But so my beef is almost all the way, well, my beef is all the way cooked, but it's been cooled and added back to the pan. So I did remove a lot of the water. I know sometimes people are, when we're ketogenic, we get, hey, Just Jason Keto, nice to see you. And Uncle Big Guy, welcome. So sometimes we get hung up, like you want to eat the fat that is with the meat, but keep in mind that when they grind meats, hey, welcome, Raikwen and Visual Keto. Nice to see you guys. But when you get those, often they are ground and they have ice and ice water mixed in with it. Hey, Jen Delaney. Nice to see you. So, they grind that water in there. So it's not always just fat that's running off. Sometimes that is there's a lot of water that comes out of the meat. So you do want to kind of take some of that out because it takes away from the overall flavor, and then your sauces don't have an opportunity to thicken up. I better start mixing this. I'm just like spending all my time talking. I'm watching all the hellos. I love that. I'm trying to keep an eye out for questions. Oh, Hunger, he says the ribs have been glazed with his keto chow barbecue sauce. Oh, for another hour on the pit. Oh, I know that this is going to take some time, but I got to tell you guys, I am so hungry, and I've been like wanting to eat. I was like, maybe I should just go live an hour earlier. And then I was thinking that I might run it by you guys and ask if 5:30 p.m. Eastern would be too early for a live stream. We always kept it at 6:30 because more people become available, whether they work on Sundays or they have family activities or church activities or whatnot. And I always thought that 6:30 was a better time slot for that. But I'll be honest, I'm an early in the day eater. And so I am always so hungry. And I don't like eating late at night because then it impacts my sleep a little bit. All right, so I've got this going. Now here's my cheese. I've got a cup of cheddar and a cup of mozzarella. And yes, they are in my NutriBullet containers because I took the shredded cheese and then I blended it. It does get a little bit clumpier that way, but texturally, it tends to work out a little bit better in the batter. So, and it crumbles right up, no worries. But the little cheese crumbles, to me, work out a little bit better in the chaffle. My mozzarella, there we go. So it just comes in, there's still a couple little shreds in there, but mostly it's little teeny bitty crumbles. And I just find that it works out a little bit nicer for my batter. And my last ingredients, I've got salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Just throw that right in, and we'll get it all mixed up. Now, the reason I was doing the chaffle batter first is because now I want to let it sit for a bit and let the coconut flour and stuff do its thing with the liquid absorption. Let the baking powder activate, And just generally chaffle and waffle batters and pancake batters do better if you give them a little bit of time to sit. That's okay. So, but now it's all mixed together and looking lovely. And I can come and show you what my chaffle batter consistency looks like, so you can compare it to your own. So here we go. So you can see it's really thick, and it'll thicken up a little bit more. So we're just going to get it out of the way for a few minutes and let that sit. And now we can move things around and start talking a little more about these sloppy joes. Hey, Keto Simple, welcome. Let's see. Oh, Rickwood is asking Lynette a question. Asked how the dress turned out for the bride who had her dress destroyed. Oh, I'm interested in that. Let's see. Oh, hey, Miriam. Nice to see you. Oh, and Mama Bear answers, she came in for her second fitting and she was so happy. She got married yesterday, so we haven't got the photos yet. Oh, I'm so glad that you were able to help her out. It's so devastating when our clothes have, when you need custom things and someone, that you think is going to do an amazing job ruins it all. It just tears you up. We were talking about some of that in one of the chats too, or we talked about it, and we were talking about like pro costuming for like rodeo and stuff, and how expensive it gets. And can you imagine if you get something and then someone screws it up after you've already spent like a couple $1,000s? Oh my gosh, just like heartbreaking. Hungry He says he sent Shauna a message, but no reply yet. I don't know where Shauna is. I didn't see her on here. She might have had something going on. She was around earlier in text, so I think that I don't know what she's up to this evening, but she might have needed a nap, or she might have had something with her brother or her mom. All kinds of stuff. So let's see. 222 Cat says APB out on Shauna. So yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if she said anything. It's been like really, really nuts here. So we'll just want to assure you we'll get to talking about everything. I want to make sure my ground beef is getting nice before I talk to you about the rest of the stuff. Need another spoon. So the next thing we've got here is, so I've got my ground beef, and I pre-caramelized my onions and my green peppers and my garlic. Those are all toasted up, and we're going to go ahead and scoop that right in here so it can start melding together. This was a yellow onion, so you can see, I don't know if you can see or not. So there, oops, well, I'll have to clean that up before the dog eats it. I just dropped some on my floor. No onions for dogs. Large amounts are dangerous to them. Small amounts give them stinky, stinky farts, which is no good. Anyways, so I got them pretty dark because that's a white onion. So, but you want that extra caramelized look to your onions, because that plays into that sloppy joe's flavor. Now, this is not authentic sloppy joes. Just so you know, there's no authentic sloppy joes. Oh, Dennis Williams says he didn't see Shauna last night either. So I thought I saw Shauna. I don't know. I'm lost, but that's okay. She'll be around. Visual Keto almost caught up at 171.75. That is very speedy. Keto Simple's doing laundry. Well, that's important. Hungry He says he called his sloppy joes in a bowl. Yeah, I wish I had thought about that, but we're gonna do a flat chaffle. I was like, oh, I should have got my little chaffle bowl maker. It's just another mini dash, but it makes the little bowls. Maybe I'll use some of the batter in those later. That is something too to tell you. I'm not going to be making chaffles all night. I'm going to put the leftover batter in the fridge, and then in the morning I'll probably need to mix in another egg because of the expansion of the coconut flour. So, but that leaves us a lot of freedom to do with. All right, so I've got my ground chuck and my sauteed onions and garlic. I'm going to bring the teapot closer so you guys can see how groovy this bloom is. Maybe. Oh yeah. See this way. Oh, there's too much reflection. Now I poured tea on my floor. That's not great. But yeah, so you can sort of see through here. You can see how it's got like the whole little loop. The flowers are chained together, and the tea leaves have expanded and made sort of like a little base there. So there's our flowering tea. And the reason that you enjoy a tea like this, while yes, it's visually stunning, it's actually not the important part. The important part is, like we've been talking about with a lot of our herbal teas, is and also with green tea, is that they have a lot of health benefits. They're good for your gut health. They're high in antioxidants. A lot of flowers and herbs and even green tea, even though it's highly caffeinated, kind of help you relax and settle down. And let me tell you, I have been so high strung. We'll talk about several of the things as to why, but I mean, I have been, put some more heat on here. There we go. It's like I didn't know why my thing wasn't cooking. And when I moved it out, I must have touched the thing and had it all the way down on low. But that's okay. That's also why I kind of did a little bit of the pre-cooking effort, because we're going to want to have time to chat. We're going to want to have time to make chaffles. We want to have our tea. And I was like, it's too much to start from scratch. We'd barely be cooking onions right now. So this is way better because we know how to brown ground beef, and you know how to caramelize onions and green pepper. So, hey, Air Fried Annie, they're all putting the APB out for you. So I'm glad that you're here. Oh, Air Fried Annie was just spacing out. You know what, that happens though, and it has been very, very stressful lately. Like it's not just me; it's been stressful everywhere, all around. So I don't know what's that about, but I'm ready for it to settle down. Plus, crazy weather. It's freezing. It's springtime. Second winter is coming. Insane. Barely Begun, hey, nice to see you. And Barely Begun says, if I hadn't pre-cooked the beef, you'd have barely begun. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. So, anyways, as I was saying, there's not really an authentic recipe for sloppy joes. There is some good history about sloppy joes, though. And for those of you who've been around a while, maybe you'll remember, and maybe not, that in the United States, sloppy joes really had a surge in popularity in like the mid to late 60s, but they really showed up in the United States in the late 40s. I don't think we have people here who are remembering the 40s, but they do think that it kind of originated in the Midwest because the beef was a really an industry thing here in the United States. And it was an excellent way to get a big pack out of your food. And, well, it's delicious. And it just utilized a lot of things that were readily available at the time. And it made it a hearty, but also fairly economical dish. So here we go. Everything is smelling good. So I'm going to go ahead and add my salt and pepper. And we'll get that mixed in. That's just got a lot of little dishes over here. That's all right. Fortunately, there's a lot of little dishes, but it takes like at the end of the live stream, once I shut everything off, it only takes like 5 minutes to throw it all in the dishwasher, and then I'm good for the night. That's a nice thing. And washing the skillet also just takes a couple minutes. It cleans up super easy. Oh, Rickwin's getting a new kitchen. So y'all, you're so tired. You move the pantry to the back bedroom, moving the kitchen temporarily so she can get a kitchen update. Hard work though. Oh yeah, that is hard work though. Wow, that would be super nice. Sometimes I fantasize that I won the Powerball, and instead of some shelving that's back over there, that I was able to build cabinetry and redesign the kitchen to go all the way around into the other room, and then put like a great big island, and with the stove and everything in the center. But I'm not winning the lottery anytime soon, so that's a pipe dream. What I can do probably in some time is maybe like resurface the counters, and we are sort of starting to like peel some wallpaper so that we can eventually paint. But you know, we got a lot going on, so it's going to take us like another 10 years. We've peeled one little section, and we'll leave it like that for a while. So let's see. Oh, and Carrie says the sloppy joes look good already. So yeah. But so yeah, originating in the Midwest. There's some older rumors that say that they developed in Latin America, and then it traveled to Miami, who was mimicking a bard. I'm like, yeah, that story sounds very made up. Most historians agree. Hey, the warden, good to see you. So here is where we're going to have some important talk. Turn it back down. I can't remember if it was Friday Night Feast or a different live stream when we were talking about ketchup. I need a drink of this tea. But universally, we all agreed commercial ketchup is way too sweet tasting. So, and I was like, I knew that I had my personal answer about ketchup. And so, okay, once in a while, when I'm just like way busy, I will buy like a G. Hughes or Primal Kitchen sugar-free ketchup. But quite frankly, compared to seasoning up my own, they're far inferior. And these two containers right here are why. So we're not using no ketchup, and we're not using tomato sauce. We are using passata. Now, if you are not familiar with passata, passata is a tomato puree. I have two containers here. One of them is Cento, and one of them is the Moody. So I'll bring these up so you can see them. Now, you can see that this one, the Cento, is thinner. And I don't know if you'll be able to see because I've been moving around, but the Moody is pastier. There are reasons why. Both of these are better than opening a can of tomato sauce. I'm starting to get those nice little brown bits of the ground beef, so we're just about right. So this is basically what they are, is tomato puree. You use these tomato puree. Both of these are San Marzano tomatoes. However, the Moody are designated origin DOP San Marzano tomatoes. So the OG, the real deal. The Cento are not. They're just labeled San Marzano tomatoes. If you watch a lot of food channels or cooking shows, they do talk about that periodically, about how a lot of canned tomatoes call themselves San Marzano tomatoes, but they're really not. They're genetically San Marzano tomatoes, but not grown in the same soil, and they're usually a hothouse, so their flavor is slightly more muted, and they produce more liquid than your DLP San Marzano tomato. Oh, let's see. Tutu Cute Cat says pre-keto she drenched everything in ketchup, and now she hates it. It's way too sweet. So this is going to be a good answer for you. Oh, it just smells so delightfully tomatoey. It's just like a very, very delightfully fragrant. Anyways, but this is what a lot of Italians will tell you that you use to make your pasta sauce, your spaghetti sauce. And I will say it is really good. So I will believe the Italians. And I found that this works great. So I'm going to use the Moody in here. And remember, I've got 4 pounds, so I'm using a lot. If you're making a smaller amount, you won't use nearly that much. I'm not even using the whole jar, though. I'm using about this much, maybe a little more. So, but yeah, so I used 3/4 of it. So you have to be mindful of your carbs. But again, this is a lot of serving. It's 4 pounds of ground beef, and we're adding things to it and putting it on chaffles. So, tomato passata. Let me get this a mix. And you might say, but Maitreya, that hardly looks like any sauce. You don't need a lot. We just need to warm it through. And we've still got more to add. You don't want just regular tomato. Oh, the other difference between the Moody and the Cento. Mediterranean sea salt. Also designated origin, so it's actually salt mined from the Mediterranean Sea. And this is just sea salt. So it's salt from any sea, and it's not any particular. So it's just generic sea salt. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if we're going to be bougie, you may as well know, that that Moody is the bougiest of the bougie passatas, which is why people really love it. So now, though, we've got this tomato sauce, which now I'm thinking maybe I will add the rest of the bottle. I may have underestimated how much 4 pounds of meat is. So sometimes you just need a little more. There you go. You didn't see that. I'll wash my hands. Get some soap going. Let that sizzle and cook and get a little bit brown. Then my paper towels will get stuck. There we go. We don't want to be dirty. We can be silly, but we don't want to be dirty. All right, so now it's perfect. Okay, we've got a couple more things here, though. But now we want to get that sloppy joe's flavor. You can use Worcestershire if you have some. I do have some Worcestershire, but I found that I've actually gotten myself a better sloppy joe umami by using coconut aminos, which I've got here. We'll throw that in. See, we're still making sauce. Red boat fish sauce, my favorite of all the fish sauces, which if you might recall, fish sauce, especially red boat, is just anchovy and salt. So it's very salt. It's very salt forward. So we're going to just give that a little bit. Then you want to sweeten it up a little bit with some apple cider vinegar. And we're going to add some other sweetener too. What else we got? Oh, just some more stuff back and forth. Oh, Brenda says they're Poser San Marzano. Yes. So anyways, we're going to just keep mixing this because it has to get all mixed together. Get our scoops and bring it to the middle. And then, so we've got our apple cider vinegar, and now I'm going to add a couple more things. We're almost there. Then it has to cook for a little bit and meld together. Yellow mustard. You're going to get people who tell you, oh, make sure you use the dry powdered mustard. That's what makes it real. And actually, if you're going for that profile in your sloppy joes, it's just your generic French's yellow mustard. And you throw that. It kind of gives it, I don't know, there's something about it because it's had the a little bit of the vinegar and other things into the mustard, that it just adds that right cast to the flavor profile. If you like dried mustard, use dried mustard. That's the nice thing, is you can make it any way you like. And we're just going to keep mixing this because it's a lot of stuff in one pan. You got to make sure that it's combined so you don't get like one spot that has, you know, all the fish sauce. That would be too much umami. Let's see. Terry says his computer's being stupid. He wants to run it over and then back up and then go forward. Well, I'm sorry if you're having that. You'll get it fixed up. So, all right. So now I am adding tomato paste. I will tell you that Moody makes a tomato paste, and it's outstanding. But I already had a bunch of the Kirkland tomato paste, and I will say it tastes really good. It doesn't say San Marzano tomatoes, but as you know, Costco's brands are actually other brands rebranded, and I haven't done enough research to find out. But I'll be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't the same brand as the Moody brand. Because it is really, really good. And I mean, it's probably one of the better tomato paste that I've had. But we're going to get that and mix that in, and that's going to just make it like extra thick. And then the tomato paste combined with the passata, it's going to help with just boost that sloppy Joe-ness. I don't know if there's a right word for it, but sloppy Joe-ness sounds sloppy Joe-ness. I don't know. I can't say it. I only said it the first time. Anyways, so here we are. We're gonna mix. Let's see. Oh, Air Fryer Nanny says her tea infusion is being delivered today. Oh, the tea infuser. Amazon says the next stop. Oh, nice. I know that you are looking forward to that and trying some of the stuff that you have. You'll have to let us know how it goes. I'm always looking forward to it. I hope you like it. And don't be shy if you don't like it at first as is and you need to add sweetener, because sometimes they can. Yes, it makes it, Hunger Heat's got it on the head. He says it makes it more sloppy. Yes. The sloppiest of the sloppy joes. And you can see that it's got that whole, it's got that going for it. All right. Let's get a spoon, because now you know the next part that's important, right? Let's make sure that we've got our seasoning and we don't need to change it up at all. Just right. It's perfect. I'm so pleased. It's almost perfect. It needs one more ingredient, and this is an ingredient that you can leave out if you really want to. I have here brown sugar replacement. This is the Besti monk fruit allulose blend. You don't need a ton, but there's it is. I do mix in and melt a tablespoon in there. And this is what finishes off the sloppy joes. It just, I mean, let's be honest. You guys remember growing up eating that canned manwich, and it was just so tasty? Well, oh, by the way, the brown sugar substitute gets stuck in the zipper, so we have to close it with a chip clip. So it just adds something to it. So I know, and a lot of people don't love sweetener, but a lot of people don't love vegetables either. So use it or don't use it. It's up to you. It's pretty good without it. It just wasn't that perfectly sloppy joes. And Lisa says sloppy joes are the best. Hunger He says I've got to add the Texas 5 Spice. Texas 5 Spice is amazing and delicious, but it doesn't go in sloppy joes. It does go on steaks, and it goes in meatloaf, and it goes on burgers, and it goes on ribs, but it's not my sloppy joes go-to. The Texas 5 Spice is the wrong profile for a joe. But it is also, I will say Texas 5 Spice is my favorite wing flavor profile, especially when I get my hands on stupid or special or whatever we were calling the ones. I don't know. Oh, angry. I had an angry, and then I had special. I can't remember what it was, but I ate it all. It was the second one that came from Karen and Brian, the caboodles. Okay. One more taste. Make sure that's got it. There we go. Oh man, it's so good. All right, so now I can just set this to the side, and we can bring our chaffle maker, which is screaming hot, so I had to be careful touching it. And we can clear some more space. Get those dishes out of the way. Brown sugar crumbs into the sink. All right, let's make some chaffles. So here's what I mean about the batter all coming together now. The gelatin has bloomed in here. It's just, you know, the baking powder has had a chance to settle in. The coconut flour has fully permeated, and so it's just really got that nice, almost biscuity sort of biscuit dough texture for drop biscuits. It won't make, I don't know if it would make drop biscuits or not, but that's what it reminds me of. Slightly sticky and ready to go. Got my cookie scooper. That's now a chaffle scooper. And boom. And now we can wait for like 3 minutes. Wow, look at how much we got accomplished. Amazing. And super fast. So I'm excited, you guys. I'm so hungry. Can't tell you. I wanted to eat earlier, and so I had like a little snack, but it was like just enough to make it even more. And I'm like, now I'm like practically salivating. Well, I am salivating. So keep an eye, guys. 3 minutes for this chaffle. Oh yeah, stuffler would be excellent. Oh my God, what an excellent idea. I don't have my stuffed waffle maker is not handy. It's down in the storage pantry. Darn it! I was like, oh man, I'd scoop this right in there. We could make a stuffler tonight, but maybe tomorrow. Ah, genius. The other thing is I like to do with these sloppy joes sometimes is to make the indigo Neely butter bread and put the bottom layer of the batter, then put in a scoop of the sloppy joes and then make a cover so it's like a pocket, a bread pocket. Those are excellent. Oh, it's looking great. So let's see. Oh, and Air Fry Nanny's asking about the cosplay shopping. So that's on my agenda to discuss. So excellent for me. They had the shoes in my size, and so I bought them. But Attila is also part of this cosplay guild, and they didn't have the right shoes in the right size for him. So, but tried on a ton of Converse, and so now we knew what to order, and so his are on the way. He also got the cargo pants for his, and I got my Ripley jumpsuit, and now I need to either do some good lessons to alter it myself or take it to someone who can do it because it's too long. Like I mean everything's too long. I'm 5 foot tall. It's just going to be the case. But because it's because if you have watched Aliens, you know that it's one big jumpsuit and there's pockets and zippers everywhere. Just not as confident in my skills to take out the zipper, shorten it, or replace it with a new shortened one because I need to also redo the pleating from where it unzips and then opens up like a bell. Now, so I really have to think about it, whether I want to try and do that on my own or whether I want to engage someone advanced. It needs to be done by a machine. If I could do a hand sewn, I could do it. But I think hand sewing would be the wrong application here. Oh, let's see. Uncle Big Guy says he's not a Sloppy Joe's person per se, but a loose meat seasoning person. Oh, that's what I was going to say, and I forgot. So, when I was talking about being a Midwest invention, loose meat sandwiches, which is a type of seasoned ground beef, honestly, it makes me think of Sloppy Joe's, but only with a different flavor profile. Believe that the loose meat sandwich was the inspiration for the Sloppy Joes. I'm just checking. It's good. Oh, I'm burning my fingers, and I don't care. You guys gotta see this. Chocolate perfection. So we're gonna set that right here. I'm gonna eat that one because it is perfect. And I'll scoop one more onto here. We may as well keep it going while we chat. Little extra batter. Have I mentioned to you guys how much I love these cookie scoops? They are so perfect for this application. Paper towels. I've got the new roll, so it's tight. Everything. So, but now we just take our Sloppy Joe mix, scoop it right on up, right over the top. And there we go. It's definitely sloppy. You could make any kind of bun you want. You could use 2 chaffles and try to eat it. I'm good with just my chaffle bottom and my pile of Sloppy Joes. The other thing I was going to mention about the Sloppy Joe mix is that you want to make sure, sorry about that, got blurry. It got confused when I leaned into the steam. You want to make 100% sure that you use a green bell pepper. Almost always, I would use an orange or a yellow bell pepper because I don't love green bell peppers, except for Sloppy Joe mix. For whatever reason, the slightly more vegetal or chlorophyll-ish taste to the Sloppy Joe mix, the green bell pepper is essential. A Visual Keto says, yep, in our area, loose meat sandwich is branded as Made Right. There are a couple of Made Right shops still around, and one place calls it Lucy's. Yeah. Have you seen, too, they've been started making burgers called Juicy Lucy's that are like a combo of all of these things. And pretty good, I might add. So, all right, let's taste the whole thing together. I can't wait. Now, I know a lot of people will want to add things to it. Add your shredded cheddar if you want to. All kinds of whatever stuff. I've never been one to put shredded cheddar on my Sloppy Joes. I find that weird. But you do you. You can add whatever you want. Barely begun. You crack me up. It says there's many inappropriate bottom jokes to be had. Oh, yeah. He's biting his tongue nearly in half. I don't blame you because I get it. That's hilarious. And Visual Keto says, yes, Juicy Lucy's are the bomb. Carrie says, Juicy Lucy's on the Food Network all the time. They stuff them with cheese. Yep. Hungry Heat says cheese is fair game. He doesn't discriminate. Oh, but I cannot wait to share next Friday's Cheese Friday with you guys. I found something amazing. Another something amazing. So that's going to be a good one. What was I telling you? Oh, yeah, so the cosplay. So I think I said it already in Cheese Friday, but we're going old school horror and doing the OG Alien movie. Or maybe I just said it at the Keto Meetup yesterday. That's right. There was a Keto Meetup yesterday outside of Dayton in a little town called Englewood, and we at Company 7 Barbecue. The location was awesome. Everybody was so friendly and nice. The food was tasty. what can I say? It was a shining example of community coming together. So I'm looking forward to that. I know there's a keto meetup coming up in Columbus that I'm unavailable to go to. I just got too many things going on. Give this chaffle a look. It's good. I'm going to throw it on the cooling rack. Figure I may as well scoop them while we're chatting. So there's that. So we had the keto meetup, and I just got to see so many lovely people, many of whom I've met before, so it was nice to see them again. But also I met some new people. It was just overall nice, and I ate some brisket. I ate some poultry. I'll be honest, I couldn't tell you if it was chicken or turkey. So, I don't know what that says about it, but I couldn't tell. There was also some pulled pork. There was green beans and coleslaw. We also, outside of the buffet, ordered some smoked wings to share, and then and a side salad. The smoked wings were super crispy. Oh, they were so good that I wish that we had ordered more. I thought about ordering more, and then I was like, no, we got a lot of food at the house. And now I'm like, well, but I would like some more of those wings. You can't win. Just means that next time I'm in the area, I'll just go back. So, let's see, up and coming. So we're talking about the CAWFEE. I have to get it altered or get some more machine practice to alter for myself. Mama Bear says loose meat sandwiches are popular in Hannibal, Missouri. That's correct, in the South. Let's see. She didn't know anybody who loves them. They're just really hard to get perfect. Oh, she doesn't know anybody. Oh, I love them. Air Fry Nanny says she's a paper crafter. If it can't be glued, taped, or stapled, it's not going to happen. Impressed with people who can sew. I gotta say, Mama Bear Lynette's talent, oh my gosh. I've been working on getting some lessons because I can do most things with hand sewing, but my machine skills are not there. And I want to be able to do machines for a lot of different projects. So let's see. Tutu Q Cat's asking where Dyson is. I don't know. I'm surprised he hasn't been hanging around here with all of the food. Mama Bear Lynette says green bell peppers always taste a little gassy or grassy to her because they're not very sweet compared to the red ones. Yes, but for whatever reason, that extra green taste pulls off the sloppy Joe flavor. Make sure I turn it off so it doesn't burn while we're chatting. So, yeah, that's our history. And I just wanted to say, so I told you about the Moody. I'm telling you, it's the greatest. Now, because it's really thick, it makes a nice thick ketchup if you want to flavor it up and do that. But I will say that while this is not as thick as the Moody, the texture of this blended with a little bit of the tomato paste and then adding in your flavorings, your vinegar and such to make the ketchup taste. This is perfect because this way you're using the cheaper for your ketchup. That's all you need. When you talk to Italians making their sauce, they'll tell you all you need is to saute your onions and garlic, add in a little salt and pepper and this. And I will say it is really good. I like some other stuff. Oh, and Marion is asking if I got the onion off the floor. No, but he's not around. I figured I'd spend enough time off the camera, so if he doesn't, if he shows up, I'll just sprint around and grab it. It's not the end of the world. So he'll be fine. It's over buried by the camera legs too, which he doesn't like to go in there. So I think we're okay to wait till after the live stream. Uncle Big Guy says Lincoln, Nebraska had a restaurant named Tasties that served loose meat, but it closed down a few years back. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, we lost a lot of really good restaurants during the last few years. And I've been watching indie because a lot of my favorites have gone away. And luckily for me, for Gen Con this year, I got super lucky in the hotel lottery. And I'm in a place with suites, and my suite has a full kitchen. So I will be able to take my Instapot and my beloved skillet, do a grocery run, and have my food without having to worry about accidentally getting sick or whammy while I'm at convention. So I'm really looking forward to this year's Gen Con with no stomach aches. Cross your fingers. Also being able to host friends and stuff in my room in what I'm going to consider luxury, because it has a living room with a couch and 2 chairs, a dining table, and the full kitchen. Can't ask for better. So, yeah. Oh, and let me just tell you about that Gen Con. I was sending Keto Simple because it was so insane this year. I mean, it's insane every year, but this year, like, I don't know, it was insane. And normally you can get hotel rooms in the Gen Con block until about 3:30, but today they were gone by 2:30. Every room in the block. And that doesn't mean, and I will tell you the downtown rooms. Now the portal opens up at noon, and what there is if you bought your badge for Gen Con, you're entered into a lottery where they just run a randomizer, and that randomizer says, okay, you can have access to the housing portal at 12:05. You can have access at 1:17. You can have access at 4:30. The last couple of years, I've had shitty luck, and my access has been like at 7 p.m., which is like, well, never mind then. But this time, the hotel rooms downtown and attached and up to 6 blocks away were totally and completely sold out by 1:17. After that expands a bit to about 15 or so minutes away, 15 to 20 minutes away. That block carries out, and that includes like the airport, all of the hotels at the airport, and that was sold out, like I said, before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, wow. So, let's see. A little bit more on that one. Barely Begun says I should buy a lottery ticket for sure in case I didn't spend all my luck on the hotel room lottery. Airfry Nanny's asking how many usually attend Gen Con. Between 70 and 80,000 nerds, plus all your vendors and staff. Oh, Mama Bear says, I think I misunderstood that she was saying zippers are hard to get perfect, not loose meat sandwiches. Oh, okay, I did misunderstand. I was confused. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, and zippers are next to impossible hand sewing. Oh my God, it's so much fiddling around. Hey, Darth Carnivore, good to see you. Yeah, Gen Con is huge. Yep, I got tickets and a primo hotel. I'm so excited. It's like the best. But then after the hotel carnage, we were laughing and talking about old Gen Con days, like as if we were 800 years old. But really, some of us have been, ouch, it's hot, going to Gen Con since it started. I have missed a lot of Gen Cons over the years, but I've gone to at least 28 of them. And we were talking back to when it used to be in Milwaukee, and there wouldn't be hotel rooms, but there was, like, we call it Tent City. Everybody had, you camped or you slept in a car. Those were the old days. And I was laughing. I was like, sometimes the lottery and the hotel access now is so hard that I think about it. I'm like, I'm 5 foot tall. I could sleep in my FJ Cruiser, no problem, and just take a shower, $1.50 at the truck stop. But I'm sorry, you know what? That was a lot easier when you're like 20. But once you hit 50, I'm sorry, I want to sleep in the air conditioning. It's August in Indy. It is ridiculous humid and like what feels like 900 degrees, even though it's actually just really humid. So, Air Fried Annie says she has forgotten her first name. Guess was Charlie, and Death Carnivore says, "Yep, that's correct." So yeah. So I'm just like so stoked. I'm behind. This is like your big board game nerds' dreams. There's two big conventions. You want Gen Con or you want to go to Essen in Germany. I can't afford to go to Essen in Germany. I think about it every so often. And actually, oh gosh, 8 or 9 years ago, my other bestie Shane and I he also goes to Gen Con a lot. Entered the board game Pandemic, their tournament, and you guys, we got second place by one freaking turn. I was like, oh, we were so close. Oh God, one turn we lost to someone else, and the prize was going to Essen. I was like, oh man, you got to be kidding me. We were so close, and I guess to tell you, it would have been one thing if we were in second place and we were like 3 or 4 turns behind, and there was likely no chance. But we were literally one turn away from clearing everything. Oh, I know that for a lot of you, this doesn't make a lot of sense, but let me just tell you, winning a major tournament is a big deal. So it's heart-wrenching to lose at something when it's by this much. It's a lot easier to lose at something when it's by this much. So crushing. Also, one time Origins played in a world poker tournament qualifier. And I came in second place there too. It's like, you got me. Yeah. Second place, I guess, is my middle name. But that's okay. That's okay, because honestly, I don't think I wanted to play in the actual world poker tournament. That's maybe a bit too intense. Let's see. Oh yeah, so we're giving some props to Carrie. Carrie, what did you do? I missed it. Say it again so I can read it. But I know that you're caffeine free. I know that you're trying for some good jobs. I'm really crossing my fingers for you because the job market is just like crap. Oh, the 28th of February, he'll be 2 years and 1 month no coffee. 2 years, wow. So that sounds amazing because I know the coffee was a love of yours, and then when you discovered that it was harming you, that really sucked to give it up. So kudos to you. So anyways, I believe we are good. We managed to get everything done. And I hope you learned some Sloppy Joe's history. I hope you learned some cool stuff about your tomato puree, your passata. And I hope that you just had like generally a good night. And I'm looking forward to hearing about Hungry Heath's ribs. Oh, before I go, one more thing about Gen Con. I'm excited. I've got friends who are working there, so I'm crossing my fingers. But I also, one time I won the Twilight Imperium tournament, and it was glorious because people who are not men don't play Twilight Imperium very often. And one guy was so extra salty that he was like almost going to quit because he didn't want to play with someone who wasn't one of the guys. It gives me utmost pleasure. And then I won. Oh, yeah. So now I have a Twilight Imperium playmat. It's almost like the size of a small area rug because it's an enormous game. So, yep. Anyways, that's my last thing. Whatever else I had, I forgot. And I will talk to you guys real soon because now I'm going to go eat because I am ravenous. Have an awesome, awesome day. I'm not sure if what you're asking, Air Fried Annie. We'll circle back later. I'm gonna go eat my dinner, and I'll just catch up with you offline. You guys have a great evening. Bye bye.